Korzaan. I'm an associate professor in the Computer Information Systems Department, and I'm here this afternoon to just share with you some of the adventures I have had in Second Life with my graduate level course that I teach. Some of the activities and techniques that we use in that class to actually get students engaged and collaborating and learning the material that they need to learn for the course. The course that I teach is entitled Information Technology, Project Management, Risk Assessment, and Control. So we are interested in improving the performance of information technology projects. And I don't know how familiar you are with information technology projects, but in the business world, there is a high rate of failure, meaning that projects end up taking more time, more money, and provide fewer functions than what their specifications required from the beginning initial plan. So our goal is to improve the performance of information technology projects by looking at the risks and addressing the risks. So we really have to focus a lot in this class on tools and techniques for identifying risks in information technology projects, assessing those risks, and providing recommendations for controlling or mitigating those risks. So, when faced with Second Life, one of the biggest challenges I had was how can I not spend too much time in Second Life learning Second Life and really spend most of my time on the content. We do case studies, we do class discussions, we do a lot of group work. So how can this translate from the on-campus, face-to-face classroom to a virtual classroom? What does that look like? So that's kind of the main objective. I'll start, and here's just kind of some outlines of some of the things that we do in the course. And how I started in Second Life was actually before MTSU had the Second Life Island. And it was not my idea. It was my students' idea. We used a case of an IT project implementing a Second Life project in class. And as we went through this case, identifying the risks, one of my students said, hey, why don't we meet in Second Life? Me, being the risk-averse professor that I am, said, no way. Oh, what do you think this is? A risk class? Oh, yeah. Yes, it is. I guess it does make sense because we can jump into this virtual world, we can assess the risks of it, we can learn as we go. This is like a real-life risk project, so why not? Let's do this. So, here we go. Well, I can make these PowerPoints available to you so you can read through the verbiage. That's pretty much what I just summarized when I was speaking. So, we jump ahead then, when I fall 2008, I said, okay, let's go ahead and meet. Is that at this point we did not have shared media print, so we couldn't look at our Google Docs from within Second Life. We always had to flip back and forth between screens, Google Docs, Second Life. But we worked around it. We had some interesting experiences. One very positive experience, one of my students met an educator in Washington, D.C., and I'd met an educator in Arizona. And we invited both of them to come visit our class one night. So we had this kind of ad hoc learning experience from some other educators that we wouldn't have had we not been in a virtual world. Now we also had one interruption, an avatar by the name of Mr. Love Night Turbo, who showed up in his avatar underwear and claimed he did not know how to put his clothes on And of course, since this is a risk class, I realized this was a risk right away. Me as a person was panicking while my avatar remained completely calm. And this was what was really amazing about it, is how my students stepped up to the plate. They started giving him clothes, and they started giving him links to islands so he could get freebies. And before I knew it, he left. He didn't come back. He was busy getting freebies. And I thought, wow, I need to have more confidence in my students, just to let go. And they really stepped up to the plate and provided a solution. So that was my first experience. The next year, this time, we're still meeting on Vassar Island, and I think this would be an interesting research project, is to look at group identities in virtual worlds. Notice this group. This is the red group. They all have capes. Why did they do that? They wanted to be able to easily recognize their avatars in Second Life. I thought, that's pretty brilliant. That's great. And they also took on this whole super hero persona. And here's what one of my students posted in Facebook. Here he is, Halo Vader. And the book we were reading was called Project Disentanglement, and it goes through a methodology for detecting risks and stopping them before they become catastrophes. And so he puts this quote, "I find your lack of faith in Project Disentanglement disturbing." And it's just interesting to see how now they're kind of like this superhero group of project-saving, caped avatars. But I'm thinking, why not? At first I'm like, look at these. They're kind of going back to childhood and turning this into a game. And I'm thinking, maybe this isn't a bad thing. Maybe this is really inspiring some creativity in them. And I'll be honest with you, risk assessment and control is not the most exciting thing in the real world, to go through a case and go through these step-by-step methodologies. So if they can add a little fun to it, I think it actually, and their group did an outstanding job as well. In fact, one of the members is now a chief information officer at an organization, and another student is going through a PhD program at Auburn. So I was definitely intrigued by that and wondering how we can use that to help inspire more creativity and add more life and innovativeness in the classroom. Okay. Moving forward to fall 2010, MTSU purchased our island. We have our own amphitheater to meet in. Here's our amphitheater. There are my students in 2010. There's our mascot, Pegasus, in the background. I know Pegasus isn't blue, but it was a freebie, and I couldn't color the freebie blue. Maybe next semester that will be one of our projects. So what do activities look like? That's a little bit of an overview of the journey. What do the actual activities look like? And we have four main types of activities. One is to take a little bit of time to learn Second Life. I allowed the students to take about an hour and a half on class in a computer lab to go through a tutorial, learn about Second Life. And then the second half of the class, it's a 3-hour class, so the second half of the class, we simulated what our virtual class would look like. We actually went through discussion questions, and then I could ask them, is everybody comfortable with this? Are you ready to meet now remotely?